it's designed to take up issues in silos. We've got 17 different silos.
Yeah.
So when you say a cut has to be tied to an investment, you got no place to have that conversation.
Right.
I mean, leadership can huddle at some
Yeah.
point, and they do.
Yeah.
And they try to figure it all out.
Yeah.
But the way that structure is, you can't have those conversations. So we've been working with legislators on both sides of the aisle, trying to figure out, where do you hear a big idea? Where do you hear a package of things?
Yeah.
And I think there'll be an announcement about that within 10 days. And we're hopeful that something good will happen there.
So today is March 6th.
Yeah.
Hopefully sometime middle of March.
Middle of March,
Yeah.
this will all be made public.
Now, let's talk some more about the politics of this,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Here we go. You're gonna, there's probably a lot of good ideas in this bill.
Yeah.
Okay? We agree as Republicans that government inefficiency is very important, that
Yeah.
you need to look at that. Brookings recommends a BRAC-style commission,
Yeah.
say up or down vote getting rid of government.
Yeah.
They say you need to reduce your taxes. Great, we agree with that.
Yeah.
The bonding issue of $300 to $400 million, we're not sure of.
Yeah.
But if you could cut government efficiency and invest that money in debt service on bonds, maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can't do it separately.
That's right. No, and I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Right.
Look, our point, the proposition we put before the legislature, and we will put in this bill, is what we call cut to invest. That deal's got to be made. I don't expect, we want Democrats to come to an understanding of the need to streamline government. And however far they have to travel, we want them to travel there. Republicans got to come to a point of being willing to make these big investments in exchange for those cuts. And that's the deal we're trying to maneuver. We're going to push it this year. Now, we can only do so much. At the end of the day, the elected officials of the state have got to decide. We think there's a chance for a breakthrough there and for some common ground. We don't expect either side to agree to half of the deal.
Okay.
I mean, that's unrealistic.
But the art of compromise can
The art
work.
of compromise, in this case, look, we think we got some big opportunities right now, and we don't have a lot of time to wait. I mean, we can't settle these things 10 years from now.
Yep.
We got to settle them now.
Well, the Maine Economic Growth Council came out last week with their report.
Yeah.
Lots of red flags, lots of concerns. Nothing has changed. I mean, that report's come out every year.
Yeah.
It points to the same issues and nothing's happened. You have your opportunity this year to fix the Maine economy.
Yeah.
And, but unless you cut some things, you're not going to get the other things.
Yeah, and just so your viewers know, the Brookings Report calls for cuts of $60 to $100 million a year in the budget. We think we can get through it through this BRAC-style commission.
Right.
Now, there are people in the legislature who say, oh no, we don't need something, that's draconian.
Yeah.
We don't need something like that. By golly, we can do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And my answer is, how's it been going?
But remember, Governor King, when he was first elected in 1995, tried to reduce state government employees and said, I want to cut 1,000 positions.
Yeah.
How many did he end up with?
I don't know.
Very minimal.
I don't know.
A couple of hundred, maybe.
Yeah.
And those are mostly vacant positions.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do.
It's not
It's
easy
a
to
turf war.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
have the union fighting you, and you have legislators fighting you. Boy, oh boy.
It's tough.
Yeah, if you
As
could
you
get,
guys know better than anybody.
I mean, if you could get this done, you're gonna have a big gold medal on your chest.
Yeah.
Because this is a tough fight you're gonna have.
Sure.
Here we are, early March. Discussions are happening about the budget. There's been this tradition of the last 10 years now of majority budgets. Completely poisons the atmosphere at the State House when that happens.
Yeah, sure.
You're going to release your bill in the middle of this fight over the budget.
Yeah.
How do you get sponsorship? How do you get people then to buy on and say, I just got whacked in the head and now you want me to co-sponsor this?
Yeah, I may be wrong, Joe, because I don't spend a lot of time in Augusta, so I'm not an expert on Augusta. But I see it from the way most people see it.
Yeah.
And I think we've been having this debate for a while. I call it the tastes great, less filling debate.
Right.
One side says you've got to cut, and I'm not going to do any investments.
Right.
The other side, no, everything's hunky-dory, just make the investments.
Right.
And so I think it's created a predictable kind of gridlock.
Yep.
And, you know, Maine people are the losers.
Yes, they
in
are.
this. And
We agree on that.
yeah, and I think as a result of the Tabor discussion and the prior discussions, I think we have a block of legislators right now on both sides of the aisle that are looking for a way out. Now, there may be other ways out, but we've put one on the table. Here's the way out.
Yeah.
Find the common ground.
I thought it was very interesting that Brookings came out with the pessimism of Maine people.
Mostly we talk about what's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think you give people a steady enough diet of that over time, and they're going to start feeling like we haven't got any chance. You know?
Yeah.
One of the things I think, you know, we've got over 5,000 of these reports out now, which is a lot for that kind of thing, especially with people paying for them. But one of the things that I hear over and over again is, thank you for giving us the unvarnished news.
Yeah.
On, you know, we have some confidence in these numbers that government's too expensive, taxes too high. We've heard it before, but we didn't quite all the time believe it. I mean, that's what I run into. But thanks for combining it with hopeful outlook for what we can do. You know, if you get up every morning and all you've got to face is you're a miserable loser and there's no hope, it's pretty hard to get something done.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of the things that people haven't seen before.
Yeah.
You know, usually you get, whatever the issue is, one side takes the negative, the other side takes the positive.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think we came along and said, yeah, you know, both sides are half right.
Yeah.
And maybe more than half right.
Well, you know, you're right. We need to be more optimistic as a state. I think if you look at municipal government, you know, and I'm a selectman in Raymond, it's a nonpartisan thing.
Yeah.
It's totally nonpartisan. And many people come to the State House who have had that experience on a school board or on a select board or a town council, and it's nonpartisan most of the, you know, around the state.
Yeah.
And they get to Augusta, and it's a totally different animal.
Yeah.
You don't realize how partisan it can be at the State House for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Over personalities or whatever. But if we could get behind something that says, yeah, we're going to cut government, we're going to cut taxes, and we are also going to invest in our kids and education, I don't think we do a good job on cost-benefit analysis.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that there's enough study with the Brookings Report that there has been some cost-benefit analysis done, that there's been a study of a return on investment. But I am so afraid that Brookings has already been labeled as a Democrat report because they came out and just, as soon as it came out, the Democrats jumped all over it and held it up as the gold standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, and you mentioned that before, and look, it's a problem for us.
Right.
I mean, people, you know, Brookings said, aren't you glad that the governor's embraced this whole thing?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Because it's going to make it tougher to bring Republicans to the table, which is ultimately what we're talking about. You know, having one party support this may be good in the short term.
Right.
We're not interested in the short term.
Yeah.
We're interested in some big, longer term shifts, which means we got to find a new way to work together.
But the most important thing is if you don't do it completely as a package and you only pick out little things, you have failed.
But we have absolutely failed. And I have said everywhere, look, the worst outcome is everybody picks the piece they like and runs off to the corner with it.
Yeah.
We'll be right where we started.
Yep.
That's not going to do it for us.
Yeah.
You know, so look, we are urging Republicans now. I understand the concern about the governor supporting this or Democrats supporting this. Democrats have done, I think, the predictable thing.
Yeah.
They've embraced all of the investment side and some of the cut side. I mean, I think the governor's budget, we all got to
Well, on the school consolidation, we applaud the governor for,
he's out
for
there.
putting forth school consolidation.
Yeah.
We're not sure if he has the right answer, but he proposed
And
it.
we're not either.
Yeah.
Okay, so we when I'm out there talking everywhere, I say, give him credit for teeing it up, bold, blah blah blah, all that stuff. It wasn't what we recommended.
Right.
It leaped over our recommendations, but you know, it's moving the conversation in the right direction. Great. So, but you know, generally Democrats have done what you'd predict, which is minimize the cut side and focus on the investments. We're waiting for Republicans to come onto the field and say, we want those streamlining cuts to happen.
Yep.
And that's the deal.
Yep.
And that's why you and I are talking. And